Heyo, thanks for reaching out. I thought instead of typing out a message, I'd make a video explaining how to bond, since that's a bit easier for typing. I'm kind of tired today, if you can't tell. But with mice, there are a few tips. I'd have to know more about like what the specific situation is, what you're dealing with to know exactly what might be making him nervous. But just as a basic rule, mice are prey animals, so they're very nervous about new things, new environments, and in order for them to feel comfortable, uh, they kind of have to adjust to things slowly over time. And they do this, I don't know what to call it, but it's kind of like a boomerang thing where they go back and forth. So mice will have like a safe zone, like an anchor spot. Think of it like your home or your house. And then when they go out to explore something new or something new happens, they might venture out from the house a little bit, experience the new thing, and the new thing will always be scary at first. So then they'll run back to the safe space, the house, and they'll recharge their confidence level and their curiosity level. And once they see nothing bad happened, they'll go back out again and they'll go a little bit further. Maybe they'll go down to the path, like the sidewalk outside their house. And then they see something, again, that's new and different. Something moves in a different way. Something smells different. They run back to the house. They take a breather, they recharge, they get themselves to feel better again. Once their curiosity and their confidence is recharged, they'll go out again, they'll go a little bit further. And then they'll go back and they'll do that over and over and over again until finally they feel confident. They're like, okay, nothing bad is happening any of the times I've gone outside. And in fact, even though things have been new and kind of scary, cool things have happened every time I've gone outside. So actually, maybe I like it there. And then after they've adjusted to that a lot, they'll be confident, they'll be excited. And it's after that adjustment process that they'll finally be able to do things like tricks, hanging out, be bold, confident, express their own personalities and stuff. So when you are hand taming your mouse or socializing with your mouse, the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that they have that safe space, that house, so to speak, where they can go back to and feel comfortable. Of course, at the same time, for bonding, you also want to make it so that their curiosity is there. So you got to make yourself and your interactions seem like something that's interesting, engaging, or valuable to the mouse. Some ways to do that are treats or just sticking your hand out. I mean, a lot of times mice are curious enough that they'll want to come explore you. That's generally the case. So, just stick your hand nearby. At first, honestly, depending on how experienced or comfortable you feel interacting with him and what his comfort levels are right now, first step is sitting near the cage, watching him. As soon as he starts to be comfortable with you near the cage, and maybe you talking gently like, hi bud, what's up, saying his name a few times, as soon as, and I'd sit there for like a good 20-30 minutes, as soon as you start to notice he's coming out running, getting curious, having a good time, even while you're there, that's when you can move on to like putting your hand in the cage. And I recommend doing like the sitting next to his cage around dusk, so as the sun's starting to set, usually between 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. is when they're the most busy. So whenever you notice that he gets active the most, go sit by his cage, because he'll want to come out and hang out and sniff and explore things. And if you're there, the only way for him to be able to come out and explore things is by doing it while you're there. So that'll naturally get him used to you being there. You can get up a few times, move around, kind of shuffle, move your arms a few times. You might notice he runs, but don't let that freak you out and don't completely leave. Just sit there, let nothing bad happen, make it a quiet, peaceful thing. Oh, I moved my hand. See? Nothing bad happened. And then he'll come back out again and be like, okay, I'm not dead. Hand moved, but nothing tried to murder me. And then you'll notice him coming out more and more. And even when you move and you chat and you talk, nothing happens. So, I don't know, maybe go on a phone call with a friend or something, or just talk to yourself, hum some songs. And after doing that for a little while, he should get used to the sound of your voice and your presence and your movement. And once he seems to be comfortable with you coming around and being near the cage, you can reach in and start to just place your hand in the cage, kind of flat or open like this, or even palm down. Don't wiggle it. Don't lift up all of his favorite hides. Just kind of sit there, do the same thing. Coo, talk to him, chat, chill. I oftentimes when I'm hand taming my mice, will just sit there with my phone and I'll be scrolling. And I'll have my hand just sitting in the cage like this. And then they'll just come out and you'll notice they'll sneak out, sniff, stare at you, go hide again. Then they'll come sneak out and they'll put a paw on your hand. And then they'll run and hide again. And then they'll keep going further and further until they're climbing all over your hand. And you don't move it yet. The only time you start moving your hand when they're starting to climb on is after they've done it so many times. Then you wiggle a couple fingers. They get used to you wiggling your fingers. you move on to the next step of lifting up your hand little by little. And what mice actually really like is when your hand becomes like a toy or a game. So oftentimes with new weanlings, what I'll do is they climb on my hand, and then I'll actually move my hand just slightly over to like the other hide in the cage or something else. And they'll get nervous, but they'll climb off to a different place and then run back to another safe spot. They're like, oh, that was kind of cool. And then they'll come back to my hand, and then I'll move them again to that other side of the cage. And then I do that over and over, and they view it as kind of a game. And all of a sudden my hand becomes exciting. And then I might pick them up on my own once, and they're like, oh, that was kind of scary. And then I'll immediately put them down, show them, hey, you can still get down. I'm not gonna, rob you of your freedom or anything. Here's your safe spot. They run back, but then they're like, okay, that wasn't so bad. And then I'm able to pick them up confidently, comfortably, and they don't freak out as much. So I'll go ahead and show you real quick. I know the video is kind of long, but I figure it's helpful to be able to have some advice for bonding. Better to take a minute to watch the video and create a strong bond than not form one at all. But here, I'll flip the camera real quick. Alright, so I've got a group of mice. These guys are out crosses. I actually just did this with them last night, working on bonding. That's Mama. And at first, they'll probably be a little bit nervous today, at least some of them. But I've already gotten them to the point where they're comfortable with me in the room. I'm going to stick my hand in, and you can see even the mom's kind of like, ooh, what's this? And that baby's nervous, so she just hid her face. They're all getting used to me talking, saying that nothing bad is happening, even though I'm chatting away. And I'm just kind of leaving my hand here. And of course, it is the middle of the day, so it's not exactly their busy time. Hello. Hi. Gonna give them gentle chats. We'll see if anybody wants to come out. There's Mama. Yeah, hi, Mama. Hello. Hello, babies. Hello. These guys are only about 4 weeks old, so they're still pretty shy. Oh, she's giving me a sniff. Yeah, are you sniffing me? What do I smell like? That's a little boy back there. And you can see they'll explore, and then they go under the hide again to sort of recharge and get more comfortable. She came out a little bit further this time. She sniffed me again. She's sniffing above to see where my head is, see what I'm doing. Yeah, what's up? She's coming out a little bit further than she did before. Oh, she got nervous, so she's running over there to where she feels safer. This little one's getting so brave that they're starting to try to nibble on my fingernail. See what happens. Still too nervous to come all the way out, though. Mom, of course, is pretty comfortable, so she's just walking around. Now she's putting her paws on me. So she's getting even braver. Yeah, and I'm not moving my hand. I'm keeping my voice even and level. Not jerking around, not trying to push her faster than she's ready. That baby's getting kind of excited. When they move kind of fast and jerky like that, that's called zoomies. That baby's really confident. See, she just crawled over my hand, got nervous because it was new, ran off to hide. And we might see her come back again. And you can see that they're kind of nervous, but they're also kind of excited because I'm so interesting. Here's that baby. She saw the phone move, so she got nervous. So she went under my hand where she felt safer. Now she's checking out the back of my hand. She's kind of sniffing at it. I moved my thumb a little bit. She's not freaking out. Oh, but then I moved the phone again. She got nervous about the phone moving. You can see even the tiniest little new things make them nervous. It doesn't take much. So anything you want them to get used to, you kind of have to just expose them to. And show them, oh look, nothing bad happened. Oh, see, she came back. She's right behind her mom now. She's underneath my hand where she feels a bit safer. She sniffed again. Nothing bad happened. The camera didn't eat her. So maybe it's not terrible. Yeah, what do you think? You gonna try climbing on there? Yeah? No? She's just hanging out behind my hand now. That's where she feels comfortable because it's darker and cozier. My hand's kind of lifted up right now, so they could just shove their way under there if they really wanted to. Yeah, they could. Oh, she's peeking up. What do you think? Are you brave enough to get on there? She's checking me out again. Comfortable enough to at least run by my hand. Oh, Mama's sneaking off. Excuse me, Mama. I'm going to go ahead and put her over here because she's a little bit of an adventure bean. There we go. That's Mama Playground. my hand goes back. And this little blue girl, who really seems to want to engage with me, has come back. She's sniffing at my hand. Runs away when something new happens. My phone moves. This girl's sniffing at me. Hi. I'm just going to poke my finger in gently. She got a little bit nervous. Sneaking out that side now. This little girl's coming back over. I'm going to move my hand further up here. The best time to do this is definitely nighttime, because that's when they're the most, like, curious and excited. Middle of the day, they're kind of more nappy mode. And I'm going to do something to incentivize them real quick. It's called treats. I'm going to take some oats. This is what I give to younger baby mice. It helps them to gain weight and stuff. There we go. And I'm just going to stand nearby. See if anybody wants to come out for a snack. Ooh, she came out and grabbed one. The little boy's coming out to grab some. I just reached up and scratched my face, so they got nervous. Now they're coming back out. I'm not moving, I'm not going away. I'm not acting like anything crazy. And they're just sneaking their heads out, exploring little by little. And this is kind of what the beginning of the bonding process looks like. And then you just do this, maybe for however long you feel like it, really. And the more time you just spend near them without anything scary or crazy happening, the more comfortable they'll become with you. You don't want to start with the grabbing or reaching in until they're comfortable with you being nearby, and they see that nothing really terrible is happening. But that should happen pretty fast. I mean, and don't be sad or upset if it doesn't feel like it's going forward every single day. Because these guys were actually running all over my hand last night, and you can see today they're just a little bit more nervous. Part of that's the time of the day, and part of that's just because they're like, well, that happened once, but is it safe today? She smells a little bit different today. She's wearing different clothes that are different colors. You know, it might not be obvious to us, but even the smallest of changes, the subtlest change of voice, of smell, clothing, they're all noticeable to the mice, and they'll have to adjust to that new environment and experience with you. So just be patient with them and consistent. Daily, in the evening, as they're starting to get active and more curious. Just sit near them, chat with them, maybe stick your finger in every once in a while. Show them that nothing bad happens when you're around, and good things happen instead, like treats and foraging. Just sit near the cage while they're foraging and hanging out. And one thing I will say is with that line, it is that outcross line, I have noticed that the babies are just generally more skittish at first. But generally, once you've interacted with them more, they get more comfortable. So one thing I will say is, if you're able to, try to pick him up for just a minute. Like, not like a minute, but just like go in. And these guys you'll see get a bit nervous. This girl's the most confident. And even though she's a bit nervous with this, I'm going to pick her up. Just hold him and show him nothing terrible happened. She's going to be nervous because that was new. But you can see she came right back. She wants to eat my Band-Aid. Yeah, it smells cool, huh? But these guys, I'll lift up their hide real quick. And I mean, you're going to have to do health checks on your mice anyways, so it's a good idea to just get used to picking them up even when they're nervous about it. You don't want to do it all the time, but just for about this many seconds, show them, look, nothing bad happened, and then gently put them back down, and then leave your hand in the cage for another second so they can come back and sniff it if they're brave enough. And then you can go ahead and put everything back, and that'll at least to give him exposure to you holding him and picking him up. One thing is, I'm really good at one-handed pickups. As a new mouse owner, you'll probably want to just find a corner of the cage or something, gently guide him there. You don't want to like scare him super quickly, but gently guide him there, and then use one hand to like put in front of him for him to walk on, and use the other hand to kind of like scoop him into that other hand, and that'll be the easiest way. You don't want to grab the tail, you don't want to squeeze the body, you just kind of want to scoop under them, kind of like that, but you can guide him onto your hand with your other hand. And then just do it like this, and then I'm going to put my hand down like this. And you can see she wants to stay on my hand, because she's a little brave turd. And you can see at the beginning of this, she was hardly standing on me at all. Now she's running up, trying to explore me. This boy didn't even sniff me earlier, now he's sniffing me a lot. So they'll warm up to you 100% over time. And even if they're not initially comfortable, over time they will actually become excited about you. And see, this girl is also hiding from me. Now she's curious about my Band-Aid. They all think it's just the coolest thing. So yeah, hopefully that helped. It's a bit long, but it might give you some helpful tips. It's all just about exposure, making sure the environment's really safe for them, and letting them have some time to recharge under a hide or somewhere they feel safe before they come out and interact with you again. You don't want to force them to do too much too fast. Just quick little interactions, little by little, gentle, safe, positive. And then over time, they'll want to hang out with you. Like, this girl won't leave me alone now. She's all like, please, you're the coolest thing ever. I want to. Even though at first she was like, I don't know, this is kind of scary. Yeah, she's the one climbing on my hand. Yeah. And this boy, I bet, would be a bit nervous if I picked him up, but he'd let me. And yep, there we go. You can see right now, see how he's kind of looking over my hand? That means he wants off. So I'm going to gently lower him, let him get off, but keep my hand here. And see, he went under there to recover because of the new experience of me holding him. Kind of scary. Now he's just going to recharge. Boop. And I'll stick my finger down there so he can sniff it if he wants. Another female sniffed it. But yeah, so that's all there really is to socializing. And then just give it day by day. And it might take a couple weeks for him to truly get comfortable with you. But you should notice that each day brings some steady progress, and it makes it so that when you first reach your hand in the cage, they get faster and faster at getting comfortable with you. It'll usually, probably at the very beginning of each session, be them nervous. But the difference you'll see is not that every day they'll be completely not nervous. It'll be that their nervousness goes away faster. They learn how to adjust to your new environment and your new presence quicker and quicker each time you do a little session of socialization. So this girl, for example, she's going to be one of the harder ones. This blue girl's she's a boss. That girl's going to be a little bit harder. I have two splash in here who are going to be a bit harder. The boy is medium. But you can see I just lifted the hide off. These guys were scattered before. Boop. And I just booped her, and she didn't go flying away. She just kind of walked away. So they're all making big progress. They're all doing really good. That's what we like to see. So yeah, if you need any other tips, let me know. And let me know how your attempts go. Or if you need any clarification. But I hope that helped.